The transactions is made, the LB has been ascent, overlook the snowing, just sunlight and precise skiing front for Brexit. The two enduring policy mountaineers include Scale the Heights. David Davis and Michelle Barnier, presenting the UK and the EU, include coordinated in concept to the transfer transactions, or realization time, everything you wish to urge it, a time of 21 months wherever the two sides can job out the more settled detailed information of the relation how will develop above lot year. The size of ease of number 10 will be so noisy they'll be heard in Brussels. The by the government has thing they can say is an treaty, that tool advance, and they expect he's an insurance coverage politics versus industry hauling up stumps and refusing the UK as the ambiguity about Brexit threatens their capacity to do plans. Hover at, I fairly listen you tell. It is no, how easy. And for how time the UK will pay considerable amounts of cash money for the statute quo. But down there are three big questions on which has been coordinated. At first, as ministers include been excellently so aware for a length period, down there include had to be compromises to get the distant. The EU has curved in several areas real, but the UK has made more than of the budging. As we informed a few weeks ago for sample, the UK's unique expect to do big changes to EU migration for the transfer time, has lost. The UK has coordinated the EU's privileged day of finish the realization time at the end of 2020, quite rather than springtime 2021. And in the following several hours the lyrics of President Brussels' statements will be scoured to see wherever else the big acquiescence include go. Other, which is leftward to solve. The reply is, a many. The unique schedule for the at first stage of the negotiations was to solve countrymen rights, Ireland and the divorce rate draft. So, the cash money and countrymen rights are made. How is of year, an accomplishment of its their own. But down there is no mark of treaty on the Irish question, and the UK has had to accept how the contentious supporting Remnant to resolve the issue if all goes incorrect. And the phase is, recall, just on how we keep the divorce rate transactions, not the definitive treaty how will define how the UK does industry in the EU in the many decades to go. The is an essential move how is very potential to be tire stamped after the 1 week, but it ain't above. Finally, how politically reasonable are the fudges coordinated so far at household? David Davis has got his collaborative board. How will police force the realization treaty? Number 10 hopes the will easy concerns how the UK will substantially include to dwell by the EU rules out of lot of a say, to use the horrible slang, to be a guideline taker not a guideline maker. But it is not specific how warranty will be quite on the Tory backbench to end claims how the transfer will keep us a feudatory country. And on fishery for sample, down there is frustration already how the by the government has coordinated to cede several independents on UK water for the realization time how might offer growth to demands for a stricter attitude in the following portion of the talks. Don't be amazed for one time if down there are lot of Brexiter mutterings how anything is coordinated, before all is coordinated. Present although the by the government will blare the reality they include go the distant. Wait ministers to hello the treaty on transfer as testimony how Brexit is on path, and to large up which they see as artistic achievements in the negotiations, the UK will be capable to mark and ratify it trading agreements in the transfer time for sample, to be prepared to go in strength at stroke of midnight on December 31, 2020. But the treaty has been probable since several of the difficult bits include been parked. The a length, a really length, play.